My people, welcome back to your favorite You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. This week, my people, an amazing, handsome, talented actor. My people, welcome back to You and I, Jaime Callica. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Am I saying your name right?
Callica.
Callica.
Yeah. Most people say it Callica. They're close.
Yeah.
They're close. Yeah.
So you have a lot of ancestry. I was reading about you. You have Chinese.
Yeah.
You have like Trinidadian.
Yeah. Most of the family's from Trinidad, and from the grandparents up, they're from Hong Kong.
Wow.
Yeah. So went from Hong Kong to Trinidad, and then and that's on my mom's side of the family.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
so
your
we're all
mom
mixed up.
was originally from.
She's born in Trinidad.
Born in Trinidad.
Yeah. And then on the other side, so if you say like the Negro side, they're from India. So originally went from India to Grenada, and then went from Grenada to Trinidad.
Wow.
Yeah.
It would be
So
kind of
with
fascinating
Indian
to do that love story. Eh? People coming from there, other
Yeah.
coming there, and then they meet in Trinidad.
Yeah,
What
that's
were they
exactly it.
doing in Trinidad? Why Trinidad?
Well, on my grandfather's side, I'm not exactly sure why they went from Hong Kong to Trinidad, but on my father's, on the other side, excuse me, from India, they were on a slave ship, and they went from from India to Grenada, and then once they were there and settled, at some point in the lineage, they decided to make a move to Trinidad. So I'm not exactly sure why at that time, but originally from India, I guess great grandfather was a slave.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
There's a lot of history.
That's such a huge history.
Yeah.
And then you grew up in Canada.
Yeah, I grew up in Toronto.
And then how is Toronto versus Vancouver, and why the move to Vancouver?
It's different. It's very different, actually. You know, I still really kind of consider Toronto home. When you grow up in a place, you know, all of those long, deep-rooted friendships and relationships, they're there. So despite having lived in Vancouver for, you know, half my life, I still like miss home.
Yeah.
But when we moved to Vancouver originally, it was a family move. My mom got a big job promotion, so myself and my grandmother, we moved out here then as a result of that. Yeah.
So you're a very talented actor.
Thank
We
you.
will show some of your demo
Awesome.
after the break. And right now you are you have a recurring role in CBC TV ROMEO Section.
That's right.
How did that happen? You're Romeo?
Yeah, you know, it's great because I was working on another show that was quite a popular show on Fox called Wayward Pines. And we wrapped on Wayward Pines I think my last day of shooting was Thursday or Friday. And then I got, Thursday, and then on the Monday I got an audition for Tuesday. So I literally had 2 days off and then had the audition for ROMEO Section, which was great. And went in there, must have done something all right. The next day, had a call back with the creator of the show, Chris Haddock, executive producer, writer, showrunner, and it was awesome. We sat down for about half an hour and just talked, did a little bit of acting, and then within about a day or so, had an offer to play Dawn on the show.
Wow, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
And it's shooting in Vancouver?
Yeah, it shoots in Vancouver.
How beautiful, eh?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I mean, a lot of shows are shot here, and oftentimes they're set elsewhere. So to have such a great show be shot here and set here is always a lot of fun.
So how did you get into acting? Because I saw that you went to university for...
Criminology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know? And so how do you go to university for that? And then you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go into acting. And then your parents, your people who are expecting you to go into that lane, how do they react to that?
Yeah, my original dream was to go to law school, to be a lawyer. And to this day, actually yesterday I had an audition for a lawyer role, and it was so fun. Even my mom was joking. She's like, "That's what you're supposed to be doing." She supports me, but she always wanted me to be a lawyer. And the truth of it is, I was in a bad car accident. I was hit by a drunk driver, a friend of mine. He was driving, I was the passenger, and she got off on a pretty bogus technicality. And at that time, I kind of lost faith in the criminal justice system. So I decided, I would finish the schooling, but I didn't have it in me to go and then practice law, which was sad, because that's kind of what I always wanted to do. And then I got into business. So I was in business for a number of years, and I really, really loved business. And one day I literally just woke up and said, today's the day I want to act. And I called a couple friends, a buddy of mine here, Zach Santiago, who's a prominent actor in the city. And I said, what do I have to do? And he basically laid it out for me. And I sold the businesses, started taking acting classes, and haven't looked back since.
Wow, that is so amazing. We're going to take a short break and come back. But another detail that I saw is that you used to imitate Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael's my guy. To this day, Michael's my favorite. Yeah,
wow.
Michael and Janet, but yeah, Michael's my all-time supreme favorite. So I used to impersonate, I used to get hired to do community events, weddings, and birthday parties, and yeah, so that was like my first gig.
Oh my goodness. All right, my people, take a short break and come back and keep talking. You and I Talk Show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show. All right, my people, we're back with Jaime
Callica. Yeah. 50-50 chance. That's all right. I'm not upset.
Does it have a special meaning?
So the story of that is, we believe, like I was saying, on the Indian side, we believe that when he came over on the ship, he was saying, when they said, "What is your name?" we believe that he was just saying Calcutta, India. Like, so he couldn't speak English and probably thought, "Where are you from?" And he just kept saying Calcutta. And it was then recorded as Callica. Because if you look online, the only Callicas in the world, which up until very recently actually were just my mother and I. And we've recently, because of Facebook and social media, found that there are a couple other Callicas, but of the same lineage, from the same original Callica from India. Yeah, so we believe that Callica, he was trying to say Calcutta, and it was recorded as Callica.
It's like, is it like the Michael Corleone story?
Yeah.
He comes to America.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah. So you're still training, though. How, being a great actor, you're such a great actor right now, and you've done so much. Why do you still train? Because I saw that you're still training.
Yeah, I mean, this year has been such a great year. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to train, but my coach, Jeb Beach, I booked a role earlier this year, and I really couldn't figure out it was a comedy called The Secret Millionaire, and I really couldn't figure out some of the pieces for the character. So even though I wasn't in class, I would call him, I'd send him the script, and we would chat about it or meet up or whatever it may be, so we could kind of break it down, and he could help me through it. But it's been such a busy year that I haven't been able to go to class weekly like I had been doing for the first number of years. But once I'm all done with Romeo section, my intention is to get right back into class, because you got to keep your tools nice and sharp. And sometimes there's things that you don't even realize you're doing, whether it's something small, something big. So getting back into that class to have your acting coach help polish you up, refine things, is always important.
Nice. So we're gonna watch a little clip of yours. Show people some of your work.
Sounds good.
So great. Let's go to it.
You want to sit down for a minute? Hector just started playing. He's doing some Chopin tonight.
Isn't music a privilege?
We'll get you a glass of water. What's your name?
Did you not just hear a big explosion outside?
Probably a transformer. Lines might be down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Please, stay. call it in.
Hi, Luther.
Hey, Donna.
I think you promised to bring some of your specialties to taste.
I do soul food, not dessert.
Oh, I can't sell soul food, but we can eat it. Come on, Sunday brunch with Charlie before we open. We'll host.
Done.
Yes! I can't wait.
See you Sunday. What? Again? We were hosed on yesterday.
Routine follow-up. Shouldn't take long.
Captain, there are no sightings of Bond in District 7 or 8. We put up bolos and assigned drones to the airport, the monorail lines, and the ports. Any conceivable place he'd think to exit the city from.
But he didn't just disappear, so keep looking.
Doesn't even look like you.
Junior, back of the line.
Come on, man. Just let me slide just this once.
Come back when you don't need to know from your mom.
You got a problem?
Yeah.
Ah, so much talent. Do you have a preference? Because obviously we can see the range of what you can do. You know, you're switching from that guy to this guy. Do you have a preference to what you do? Or a great actor is about being able to do it all?
Yeah, I think that, you know, one should strive to be able to do a lot, but some people are just better at certain things than others. You know, I find like for myself, I'm in my day-to-day personal life, I'm the joker, I'm the fun, like I'm always making people laugh. But comedy for me on film is like way harder.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's the next thing that I'm gonna be working on is get back into class and do some improv classes as well as pick funny scenes in my scene study classes with Jeb to work on my comedy, because being funny on command is hard. Like, it is no joke, no pun intended.
It's so real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
because when you're naturally funny, nobody needs to.
Yeah. And
And the moment they tell you to be funny, that's when you're like,
And you're being funny based on what somebody else thinks is funny, right? So a writer has written what they believe to be funny for your character, but for Jaime Callica to just open his mouth and be funny is easy, because it's just me, it's whatever comes to my mind, and I can use my facial expressions and do the things as I normally would. But if I'm playing a character, you know, named Jared, whom has all these various layers to him because of his backstory with his upbringing and these different things that you have to figure out, it's not easy. So I do drama okay, and the next thing that I'm gonna really work on is trying to get my comedy pieces in order. Yeah.
But that makes you a real actor, because maybe if you were doing comedy, you wouldn't be acting. You would be kind of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah. I might be doing stand-up or something else.
Definitely. And then I forgot to mention, before we go for the break, I really love your style.
Thank you.
And I think I should tell the audience that you're smelling so good. Oh, people, I wish you could smell how he's smelling, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we'll go for a short break and come back and keep talking. You and I Talk Show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show. Don't give it up. My people, we're back with the very sweet smelling Jaime Callica. So, the Romeo section, who are you playing? Who's your character? And it's gonna be popular. It's a new show.
It's season 2.
Yeah.
So still pretty new. And man, it's great. It's brought to us by Chris Haddock, who is a creator, executive producer of Da Vinci's Inquest, executive producer of The Walking Dead. He's been in the business forever. A really, really great man. And my character, I play a character named Dawn, who is who for work at night dresses and performs in drag. So I'm playing a gay man who dresses in drag and is in a romantic relationship with Norman, who is one of the leads of the show in season 2. So as you watch, you'll learn quite quickly a lot about Dawn. You'll learn a lot about Norman. But the show is great. It's a very grounded show. It's not fluffy. It's about spies and espionage. And you would never think that it would just be on network television. It feels very HBO-ish, but it's on the CBC, and I'm super pumped to.
And also on the CBC, this is kind of like, you wouldn't expect CBC to be making that show, right?
You wouldn't. Like I wouldn't expect it on just network television to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like it should be a subscription-based service like HBO, like I said, or AMC, or even maybe Netflix, but it doesn't feel like network television, and I think that's why everyone that's watched season 1 amongst my friends and family to catch up for season 2 to watch season 2, within a couple of episodes, they're shocked. They're like, this is on TV. This is great. You don't expect
They're
it.
finally giving us great
They're giving
content.
So it's great content with great actors, and I'm super pumped for people to see it.
So what kind of research did you have to do? I mean, I'm thinking it's also like a controversial role, you know, because this is not something that everybody necessarily automatically hears, and,
Right.
you know?
So it's not, I wouldn't say it's, especially nowadays, you know, we've become finally a lot more accepting of humans in whatever, you know, shape, size, color, and form. And so the gay part of my character that's pretty normal. You see, there are a lot of gay and lesbian, trans characters in television now, which is fantastic. It's more representative of the population. The dressing in drag, you know, that still might catch some people off guard.
So you're wearing high heels?
I do, yeah, I do. You'll see in episode 1, I'm in heels. I won't give it away, but you'll see me wearing heels, and so that was really cool. That the show wasn't trying to prove anything by being too cliche. It was just, it's representative of like a normal population, and it's a character like unlike anything that I've ever played before. So I'm super excited for it. I love it.
So where do you go to research this type of character? Do you have like people who are living like that in their regular life? Do you interview them, or do you go to the clubs and you know, like, what is your process? You know,
funny enough with this one, I actually called a buddy of mine. His name's Sydney. I'll give him a shout out. What up, Sid? PB. His next name's PB, and he's one of my closest buddies, and he just happens to be gay. So I would call him and I would say, hey, can you read this and just kind of, I don't want to seem stereotypical. Like, am I playing this okay? Is this right? And he would just give me some advice, and he would say, yeah, that's good. Like, that's perfect, or change this or whatever. So on that aspect of it, you know, I don't want to offend anybody with anything. You obviously have your directors and Chris Haddock on set with you to tell you to, you know, tone something down or make something bigger. But with regards to the drag end of things, one of the costumers on the show, actually, he put together like a little package of stuff for me.
Yeah.
Of some of like the most famous, you know, drag performers in the world, and a bunch of like cultural icons and different things. And that was really sweet because I got that before I shot the first episode. So when he gave that to me, I really appreciated that, because I basically went through that for, you know, about a week, and just looked at, you know, from mannerisms to body posture to some attitude things, some things that were written. So that definitely helped. And
what about the beard?
Yeah, so my character's always clean shaven.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was kind of fighting. Because it feels like this whole year, my character's always clean shaven. And I lose like 5 years the second I have no facial hair. I look that much younger. So I always fight to keep a little bit of stubble. But nah, so I even tried day 1 to establish my character with some facial hair, but they were like, nah, go shave that immediately. So in the makeup truck was shaven. So yeah, my character's always clean shaven. Minimalist makeup unless on stage, and then you get a little bit of drag makeup. But you know, the walking in heels thing, I'd never walked in heels, you know, let alone danced in heels.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge when I was working with Fawn DeBloy, who's the choreographer for an episode, and getting me to walk and dance and do everything in heels, and I'd never put my foot in a heel before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna take a short break and come back and keep talking about that. Wow.
You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show.
All right, my people, we're back with Jaime Callica.
There it is.
All right. I feel like if it was written with a K,
Right.
then, you know, they would be like a Callica, you know?
Yeah. But it's the L's that trip people up, like, or the I, because, you know, people say Callica. So if it were, you know, C-A-L-L-E, you know, but I don't know. It happens most of the time, so.
Yeah. So you've worked with big names, you know. I know about Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
You were recently shooting with Don Cheadle.
Yeah, I love Don Cheadle. Out of all the actors that I really watch and really, I do this thing where whether I'm in the theater or if I'm at home, I'll watch the scene, and oftentimes I pause it and then I do it how I might have done it had I were doing the scene. And Don's choices are almost always better than mine. Like I love Don Cheadle as a performer, so getting to meet him and work with him was great. And that's not out yet. The work itself isn't out yet, so I won't even say what it is for.
Yeah.
But yeah, working and meeting Don Cheadle was like a highlight for me, amongst some other great people.
When you're working with a big name like Don Cheadle, do you get a little bit intimidated?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, a lot intimidated. A lot intimidated. Yeah, yeah. His personal. I don't want to make this mistake, but somebody in his team was really cool with me, and prior to a moment, I didn't want to bother Don too much, but I asked the guys in Q. I was like, hey, do you mind if you could, you know, set it up so I could just say hi and just chat with him for a bit? He was like, yeah. So he set it up, and I went into his Don's trailer, and we just chatted for a bit, and I told him that he was a big inspiration to me, myself, as well as a lot of other actors in the world, and that I watch a lot of his stuff is almost homework. And he was real cool. He's really soft-spoken and kind of quiet. He's quite unlike most of the characters you see him play, which is a testament to his ability too, because he was almost shy. He was almost quite shy.
Wow.
Quite reserved. Like he wasn't standoffish, but he stayed by himself and did what he had to do. And so that actually made me like him more, to see that he was so different from all the characters we see in House of Lies and like the Ocean movies and all the various films that he's done. It's quite different.
Wow,
Yeah.
that must be so inspiring to tell you like what your future kind of looks like.
For sure.
What is your ultimate dream? Where do you see yourself?
You know, I want to work. I love working. I want to play diverse characters. One of the things you mentioned that I'm actually quite proud of is the fact that most of my characters are different.
Yes.
You
so
find,
different.
Yeah,
you
like
have so many movies. You have Percy Jackson in the Olympians, The Hellcats, Shades of Soul, Rosette and Rags. I mean, it's like Smallville, the big time movie, so many. I could just keep reading the kind of the things that you've been part of, right?
Yeah. So I know I have a few friends that may even have more work than me, but their characters sometimes can be quite similar. You know, whether it's a lot of cop or a lot of guard, and these, you know, almost typecast, which is great. You're working, and that's fantastic. But one of the things that I'm pleased with in my short acting career is that, you know, I have a variety of different things that have allowed me to kind of test my own abilities, you know, from the funny guy, the nerd in The Perfect Pickup, to a soul food chef in The Bridge, brought to us by Karen Kingsbury on Hallmark, to, you know, a cop in Almost Human with Carl Urban and Michael Ealy and Minka Kelly and all those great actors. So that's one thing that I'm happy about thus far, is that I've been able to kind of book roles that are quite different from each other. You know? So that's one thing that I really want. I want to continue to work, obviously, but to really challenge myself and do things that are different from the last, which is why the Romeo section was really special to me, because it's different. It's completely unlike anything else that I've ever done.
It's a whole new challenge for you. And then, so you're still living in Vancouver, and one thing that I found out that is so inspiring is that you're coaching at your old high school.
Yeah. So I mean,
that is so sweet.
Yeah,
like the kids must just love it.
I wasn't able to get out this year, which is sad, just because it was so busy, and I hate being flaky. So I had to make a decision to not go out at all, only because if they're expecting me on, you know, Mondays, Wednesdays to go out there, because I used to be a sprinter, to work with the sprint team, and then I couldn't show up last minute because of an audition or set. You know, that's almost more disappointing than my not being there. But for next season, for sure, you know, I'm gonna get back out there and work with
yeah,
the kids
but you
again.
have done it.
Yeah,
know,
oh
the
yeah, I
fact
have
that
done
you
it.
have
Yeah,
done it
definitely.
and that you even want to keep doing it,
Yeah.
that is the part that is so inspiring.
Right.
Why? Why do you even care? You may say.
You know, when I was sprinting, when I was either in high school or when I graduated and I was running collegiate, and you know, having those older guys, like one person that lives in the province right now who was an inspiration to me is Robert Esme, and blast off Robert Esme, and he, you know, ran with Donovan Bailey and those guys on the 1996 Olympic team. He's an Olympic medal, you know, gold medalist, and he would come out to train, and even just having him around made me want to run faster, you know. So I know that it doesn't take a lot sometimes to just really inspire the youth of you know, within my proximity, and if I could simply be there and inspire them and say, hey, I used to run pretty fast. Like, let me come and help you work this out. If I can better them as a human, as a runner, whatever it may be, then I'm contributing, you know, some. So
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Jamie.
Thank
It's
you.
been short but so sweet.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hug you when we finish, just so I can smell you again.
You're gonna smell like me for the rest of the night, though.
All right, my people. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned.